Hey everybody, it's Rachel and this is
Addison.
Addison. Last week we talked about that Jesus is alive and he rose from the dead.
Jesus alive.
Yes, Jesus is alive. And after that he went and visited his disciples, but today we're going to find out what happened after that. So today's Bible story is found in the book of John. Now Jesus went to visit his 7 friends who had run away after he was arrested, and Jesus found his friends while they were fishing. If you remember last week, I gave you guys our key verse and asked you to memorize it. Now it's not too late if you haven't sent in your video yet. So send in a video of yourself saying your verse because I want to see it and I want to send you a special prize. But let's read our verse out loud together. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. Matthew 28:19 through 20. Now, our key passage is a special job that Jesus gave his friends, his disciples, and he gives it to all people who love and trust him. But before Jesus could give this special job, he had to let his friends know that he loved them and cared for them and had forgiven them for running away when he was arrested. Now, his friends were scared and they had made a mistake, but Jesus would never stop loving them. And this is true for you too. There is nothing you can do that would make Jesus stop loving you. No matter what you do, Jesus still loves you. And when you go to him and ask for forgiveness, he is happy to forgive you and wants to embrace you. So let's hear about Jesus forgiving his friends after they made a mistake. Follow along as I read our story from John chapter 21, verses 1 through 19. Amazing things happened while Jesus and his friends were in Jerusalem, celebrating Passover. Jesus died, and after 3 days, he came back to life, just like he said he would do. Jesus' friends knew he was alive because they had seen Jesus twice with their own eyes. Now that Passover was over, it was time to leave Jerusalem and go back to Galilee. Back in Galilee, 7 of Jesus' friends were together at the sea. Peter said, "I'm going fishing," and the other friends decided to go with him. Several of the friends were fishermen before they left everything to follow Jesus. They knew a lot about fishing, and they knew the best time to fish was at night. Jesus' friends got in the boat and fished all night, but they did not catch any fish, not even one. The next morning, the sun was rising, and the friends could see a man on the seashore. The man called out to them, "You don't have any fish, do you?" "No," they answered. "Put your fishing net into the water on the right side of the boat instead. You will catch some then," the man said. Would moving the net to the other side really make a difference? The fishermen friends may have thought this was a strange suggestion, but they did what the man said. An amazing thing happened. They did catch fish. They did not just catch a few fish. They caught a lot of fish, so many that they could not even get the net back in the boat because it was too heavy. "It is the Lord," John shouted to Peter. It was Jesus. Peter could not wait to see Jesus. Splash! He jumped into the sea and swam to shore. They were not far from the shore, so the other friends came along in the boat behind him, dragging the net full of fish. When they arrived, they saw there was fish cooking on a fire and bread to eat. Jesus said, "Bring some of your fish you have caught." Peter pulled the heavy net up to the shore. The net was full of large fish, 153 large fish to be exact. Even with that many fish, the net did not break. "Come and have breakfast," Jesus said. Jesus took the bread and gave it to them, and then gave them the fish. No one asked Jesus who he was because they all knew it was their friend, Jesus, risen from the dead. After they had eaten, Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me?" "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you," Peter said. "Feed my lambs," Jesus told him. Jesus asked Peter again, "Do you love me?" "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you," Peter answered. "Watch over my sheep," Jesus told him. Jesus asked Peter one more time, "Do you love me?" Peter was very sad that Jesus had asked him again. He said, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." "Feed my sheep," Jesus said. When Jesus was arrested, his friends ran away, and Peter denied Jesus 3 times. But now Jesus gave Peter the chance to say that he loved him 3 times. Jesus came to earth and he did what he promised he would do, to rescue us from our sin. Jesus showed his friends that he still loved them and wanted them to follow him. Sometimes we make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. But that doesn't mean that Jesus stops loving us. Jesus rescued us from our sin, and he loves us, and he wants us to keep on following him. If you can only remember one thing today, I want you to remember this, and that is that Jesus will never stop loving you. So if you're with your parents or your brother or your sister, I want you to turn to them, and I want you to say, Jesus will never stop loving you. Because it's true, and I want you to hear it over and over again. So that's all I have for today, friends. But don't forget to send in your video of your verse if you memorize it. And second, please remember you are loved.